Hey everybody, welcome back to the Jeep Journals, where I am innovating and creating just like I usually do. And one of the things that I've really forgotten how to do is to, I guess, interact with people. And actually, what I should say is one of the things I've remembered how to do is to interact with people again. In the past, as an only child whose imagination was pretty much all he had, I really engaged with basically myself. I conversed with myself in my mind. You know, I always would be my own devil's advocate. And so while I was doing that, I would find myself in situations where I could tell jokes because I knew how other people would perceive things and react to those things. In today's era, while basically COVID is taking its causing a traffic jam
between US 87 and Latin,
where COVID is totally tying up our traffic and putting us all in a state of gridlock to the point where we have these shipping delays, I'm still having a good time. And in fact, if you haven't heard by now, I wrote a song called Shipping Delays. I called it Sipping Delays because the shipping isn't really the big problem. The shipping of it is basically just, it's the process. You know, if we don't have something and we need it, like we really need it, then we might have a dire need for that which we are desiring. If we don't have a dire need for it, it's possible that it can just wait for a little while. And since it can wait, we can stand to express just a little bit of patience and not get agitated when something doesn't happen right away. So, for me, the point of agitation is the lack of ability to hear the details, the fine details, whenever we're trying to complete a project that requires certain details be provided. So, for an example, let's just say that in order for me to grow this channel to a monetized possibility, I need 1,000 subscribers to this channel. Well, the first thing that I need to do is to know how to entertain 1,000 people. And part of that dichotomy is that some of what we're experiencing in the world today, these shipping delays, these corona incidents, these wars, these obstacles, part of that is that it compromises our mental fortitude. It can compromise our mental fortitude, where some people don't quite want to interact with one another in a peaceful way. It's like we only decide to yield to someone if we have to, if there's no other alternative, instead of just yielding to someone, because we don't know what the other person's going through at that moment. We don't know what kind of limitations they have in their vehicle. You know, we don't know if the acceleration capabilities are just as amazing in a sports car as they are in a super large SUV. We don't know if the cornering radius is friendlier in a regular sedan or a sports tuned performance machine. We don't know until we know. And those are the things that make the whole world go round, just like music. We don't know until we know that we're running into all of these traffic jams. Right now, I apologize, there are noises going on around that are taking away some of the solitude that you're experiencing as you're watching this video, or I should say, I am grateful that I'm able to hear the words that are coming out of not only my own mouth, because I'm paying attention to what I'm doing, what I'm saying, I'm participating in what I'm saying to you, but I'm also able to hear the voices from above, be it from the navigation system or let's just say from a higher power. All of these things are things that allow me to almost effortlessly power this machine for as long as is needed to do the unbelievable things that I do, including writing a song called Sipping Delays, which is talking about the shipping delays that I'm experiencing in my personal life and how I overcome the frustration. There is no frustration. First of all, these delays, these encounters that we have with one another are specifically so that we can engage in a conversation of higher learning. And that's the purpose of us being on this planet right now. You know, many of us will call it by all kinds of segregated, divided names. Even by, what's the word? Creed. Even by religious segments. These things will be called by certain things that they're not. The truth is, we're all united. We are all in states of either unity or division. And there is only one entity that comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And sometimes the very destruction of our foundation of what we know as humanity is the destruction of the very ability to communicate with one another. So I wrote a song called Sipping Delays. And what it's talking about is it's imagining a scenario where the opportunity for you and I to sit down and have a drink that maybe we're sipping it, maybe it's a pure agave nectar like sotol or tequila. Maybe it's a flavored milk. Maybe the milk is animal product, maybe it's not. The whole point is that the delays, the real delays that we're experiencing, I'm going to turn this off even though this is confirming everything I'm saying. The chiming that you're hearing, confirmation. The main delays that we're experiencing are interacting with one another. And so for me, the delay that I experience the most is because I don't know how to ask for help. I just assume it's going to be there. If my friends are in need of help, I'm going to do everything I can to help them. So if I needed 1,000 people to monetize this channel in order to say the things, to share the knowledge that I'm sharing, to bring the joy that I'm bringing to this table, if I'm able to do that on a platform like this, even on this small scale where it's not monetized, where I bring myself joy, I can only imagine that if I saw this clip, I would totally experience joy. And I might overlook that I should be sharing this clip because it's bringing someone else some kind of hope to understand. We can change adversity into a strength. We can do these things. And the only way that we can understand that we can do these things is if somebody sets an example of some sort that allows us all to look forward to the next level of setting these joyful examples. So, in today's world,
between exit 550 and exit 546,
where we have all of these traffic jams, I'm grateful that there was a solution provided that will help you to recalculate your intended trajectory if the traffic jams are too severe. That's why I have this navigation system on right now. I know where I'm going, but I don't always know if there's a traffic jam that actually has shut down the highway and might cause an extreme shipping delay. What I'm doing is going to take care of personal business and pleasure, and that's my work. I'm going to go to obtain a few pieces of, well, instruments that can help me to measure certain anomalies in the temperatures. And then, I say temperatures because there's inside temperature, outside temperature, etc. And then I'm going to go and do some research in the wild to further evaluate the status of our living organisms. And then I'm going to go and acquire some feed for the birds that basically are tended to in my garden, in our garden. And these things are deliveries, you know, deliveries of information, deliveries of food, deliveries of knowledge. And all of these deliveries can be delayed if I do not become aware that there's an imminent threat, a roadblock that will prevent us from succeeding. So, I've written a number of songs. I just hadn't sung them in the past. I need your help. You who are listening. You can help me by telling me when I did good.
Traffic jam, head on Texas 1604 loop.
If I did really badly at something, please let me know as well. I've had quite a few people tell me how badly I sing. And at the same time, as I'm telling you, this great awakening that's happening globally is such that all of us will communicate together without hesitation, especially when someone recognizes that someone's in need of assistance. In my world, I know plenty of people who are in need of assistance. What I don't know are plenty of people who would start to help themselves if they were in need of assistance. And by that, what I mean is many people are getting into trouble or overlooking the basic efforts of communication. And so, thereby getting in trouble. And so it feels as if my job is to communicate. I'm not that great of a talker. I don't really like to get into a room, a crowded room, and start talking. I don't. It's why I've had stage concerns.
Exit the highway onto I-10.
I feel like I would have quite a... It would definitely evoke some kind of emotion if I were to have the opportunity to play on any kind of a platform in front of so many people. And that's what I'm doing on this channel. And as I share these songs like Sipping Delays, none of them are for sale on a major platform right now. Although if there's anything you enjoyed, you could just as easily imagine contributing $1 to some industry by clicking on the description in this video and figuring out how to share the joy.
In 1,000 feet,
be it by sharing the person's request who's saying, hey, I really could use $1. I'm not standing on the street corner asking for that $1. I'm not asking to just get a handout. I'm doing the work. The work is happening. The deliveries are occurring. The birds are getting fed. The money is being spent. The traffic jams are being avoided. And I'm still able to maintain my composure just enough to even use thoughtfully my traffic indicators. Many people are driving on these highways without even using traffic indicators. I'm communicating, I believe, fully. If you're hearing this message and you have not shared these songs in the past, but you're a close associate of mine, I'm asking you to share these things that make you go, I really like talking with this person for some reason. I think I should share
Drive 9.3 miles.
this conversation. How can I share this conversation? In this world, on this platform, while it exists, it's pretty simple to share this conversation by clicking on share. Many of us have social network capabilities. I don't even know what it's called. This is my social platform. I don't have many channels. I have this channel. This channel is the most compelling, if you ask me, because on this channel, you can play this on your big screen television, showcasing that 4K wildlife video clip that was captured by the amazing videographer who you decided to watch on that day. And that video can not only be shared on a full screen, gigantic, high definition television, but it can also translate directly into these small screens that some of us are watching these beautiful, robust videos on. Some of us are able to watch these videos in such stunning quality that you can see when things pass overhead to give a confirmation of synchronicity. You can see when people are interacting in ways that are detrimental or beneficial to one another in the very traffic that I so easily navigate, whether or not there are people that are willing to help me. There is nothing that can stop me from achieving my goals. The only thing is, it sure would help if we could monetize some of this so that every aspect of what we do pays. If some of what we're doing is not paying, then what is it? Is it pain? As in P-A-I-N? It depends on if we enjoy the work or not. For me, I fully enjoy what I'm doing. I smile when I think of you. I would do everything I could if I knew that in your day you were feeling blue. To bring things together, I would be the glue. And all these words, since they rhyme, you know they're true. You know, joy is something that many people overlook. And joy is something that even my direct relative, when they were being extremely condescending to me, got mad at me for smiling and laughing, and they mocked me for laughing. In a lot of ways, I think that this good word that I'm sharing, these good words that I'm sharing, especially in the form of poems, particularly when they're shared with images of nature, are practically being mocked because they're being seen and they're not being shared, even though I'm asking for these songs to be shared. This is a free platform. This is according to the country that I've been brought up in, this is a free country. I wonder at times, what I'm saying is not being said lightly or without consideration to some other entity is listening, even if it's artificial. And really, is any of it artificial? Or is it just a matter of time before we really look at ourselves and go, huh, you know, I liked that guy back then. I would share his information back then. But that's when I cared. Is that how we see one another at times? As I finally exit the throes of the traffic, sailing into absolute bliss, effortless. It's effortless. In the same way that I succeed every day in every other bit of standard stock objectives, but with absolute joy. And the same way I do that is the same way that I'm going to start bringing you some songs that are going to be blasts from the past and fun from the future. I have to keep looking at the exit number just to make sure. I know the exit I'm coming up on was moved, but now I know. So, here we are on this terrific day where I started out telling you I was going to be asking for help. Really, I'm helping as I'm asking for help. We're all helping one another. We all have the opportunity to open up channels for one another. In order for me to complete my task, I need your help reaching 1,000 subscribers so I can be monetized for the second time on this platform. The first time I was monetized, we only needed 1,000 subscribers. I mean 100 subscribers. I was monetized. The second time that I was monetized will only be because you helped me to see that 1,000 subscribers. And the way that that was worded is so interesting because that also lends to the possibility that there will also be a third time that I'm monetized. Third time is a charm. Speaking of charms, have you ever heard a story where someone said that they reached out into the ocean, put their hands into the water, and asked God not only for forgiveness, but for something that we could change into an item of jewelry? I literally did that. I asked for something and I received a piece of fossilized coral. How amazing is that? Many of our fathers wouldn't share this because they would say, oh, there's that guy being crazy again.
In half a mile, exit the highway.
You know, he's not even holding the wheel while he's driving, but you may never see that I was steering with my knees. You may never see that I was only looking at the road.
Between exit 550 and exit 540.
But some of you know. Some of you have ridden with me and you know just how much fun I have when I drive. How focused I am, because this is not a menial task. This is joyful. I see the other faces in the windows whenever I look. Sometimes the energy that I receive in return is not as joyful. Sometimes after seeing things and experience things that are not as joyful for long enough,
your destination on the right.
Sometimes we
4 miles.
disengage, especially for a period of time that's necessary, with whatever it is that's not being joyful. They might need to engage with something else. We slow ourselves down whenever we're met with adversity. Be it in the employment sector, in the employment industry,
on the right.
be it in accomplishing our tasks, be it in the shipping delays that we experience with one another. We can sometimes be the source of adversity for one another. But right now, someone actually moved out of out of the way. They were in the way. They were blocking the entrance. But I trusted that my shipping delay would be rebuked. You know, there's a lot of people that talk about rebuking things, and accepting things, and the spirit of truth and the spirit of error are the first and foremost indicator. And I'm going to show you, look, this, you've got to see this. This is the road I was just on. I hope that delivery truck showed up in there, because the reason I recorded this today with the thought process of talking about shipping delays is because I have right now on order an amazing guitar that reached the United States last Monday. Yesterday was the following Monday. This past Friday, I was notified that the Department of Agriculture needs to know what composition this guitar is in order for me to receive it, which makes sense. You know, we want to make sure we're not importing subpar woods and so forth. The reason that this guitar was delayed with this form, this agricultural form, is because the guitar is of a certain value. At a certain value, this investigation needs to occur where we fill out a form. The form that was given to me is such that it asks, what is the quantity of this product? In this case, it's a guitar, so it's wood. What is the quantity of this material, this wood? You know, is it 2 kilograms? Is it, you know, what weight is it? And also, what is the place of origin, and is any of it recycled? So out of all those questions, I have a general understanding of what this guitar is. I didn't make it, so I can't tell you any of those details. The manufacturer can, but the seller also doesn't know off the bat entirely what these answers are for this product, because we didn't make the product. If we made the product, we would know for sure this is what this was made out of. So anyway, a third party is made to sign for this item to remit that it is made of a certain material. This process sounds silly to me, because that would be like asking me, where did the water for this banana come from that was made by this manufacturer? I would have to call the manufacturer. Hello? What is this banana watered with? You see what I'm saying? I can't give you an answer to something I don't have the answer to. Otherwise, I'm making something up. If I heard it from someone else, I don't have the true answer. If someone says, hey, can you become a famed musician on a platform like this without going through an industry that's promoted on that? I don't know. I don't have the answer because I haven't tried it myself. There are some people, many people, who will tell you to release a song successfully, you have to do this, that, and the other. For me, I feel like you really just have to be joyful about what you're doing. Look at that, how the sun started to shine. Do you see the glow in my cheeks? Do you see my hair growing out again? I think the first time that I grew it out to donate, it took about 1 year, and then the second time it almost took 2 years. So I wonder how long it would take to reach the appropriate length to donate again. Anyway, the song Sipping Delays has a lot to do with an incident that I experienced in the past with a shipper whose truck possibly was represented on the highway that you saw that I just exited, where I was moving along pretty smoothly. I made my exit without any incident. I'm looking over, and everyone is at a standstill. Still. Why is it that I didn't have to deal with that? I did my part. I'm doing my part. There are extras that I can do. There's flair that I can involve. There are things that I can overlook. There are spots that I can fight over, either by controlling the spot behind me or in front of me, or I can be like water and just flow. I'm going to close these for now in case those noises are getting to you. And I'm going to just open just a little bit on the side here. I'm going to get some fresh air on the side. Isn't that what many of us are doing? Barely, if at all. Fresh air. So, as I'm bringing you the content that I'm bringing to you, where I'm showcasing some of these truths in ways that you can see in the form of examples, as I'm asking for your help reaching 1,000 subscribers, for sharing knowledge that helps us all collectively to achieve our shared visions, let's please recognize that these insights can go by many names, many divided names. They can be called all kinds of stuff: sorcery, religious, faith, bliss. I just want to call it what it is, which is we're either fully aware that there is something we can ask for help, someone, however you want to define the entity, some higher power that we can ask for help. And there are also reflections of that higher power in everything that we see. Whether it's the person we look at in the car next to us, do we smile and wave at them? The last time you made eye contact with a stranger in a car, next to your car, was it a pleasant interaction? The last time that you had an engagement by phone, whether it was verbal or by text, was it pleasant? The last time you sat next to somebody in any situation, was it a pleasant conversation? Was it misunderstood? Where did the misunderstanding originate? How peaceful are we if we're not helping to bring peace to ourselves and to others? How many examples did it take for us to go, oh yeah, we totally shouldn't be signing off on someone else's work for that one? How much traffic? The traffic you're seeing was on an access road. Remember, I just exited the highway and stopped at a traffic light right before this traffic jam that I'm showing you. Right after I conduct this business, I'll be able to smooth sailing it. I'll be able to smoothly sail my way to the next thing that I'm addressing. And then I'll be able to sail smoothly to the next opportunity that I'm working with. It takes a lot of focus. And all of this focus is something that, again, if we can't focus ourselves, how do we communicate with someone and maintain that level of thought where we also include the circumstances that are presenting our friends and family, whether that's wildlife and nature or people, these obstacles that are presenting our friends and family with difficulties? How can we possibly see that until we look past the profit and we go, you know what, it doesn't matter who's signing for what. We need to really know, is this acquisition legitimate or nefarious? And are the things we're slowing down causing more or less opportunity for failure points and for destruction and for anger and for anxiety? So we're all either helping each other out, or we're also unexpectedly causing shipping delays among one another. Sipping delays. Those times when we get together and experience our friendships together, there's no more delays. That's when we can take a sip out of the reusable cups. What is US 385? What is US 385? Why is there this smiley face? What is that all about? What is Big Bend? Why is there that terrible animal that people freak out about? What is that formation? Look at that vegetation. On this channel, we talk about wellness and conservation. Our commitment to resolving these shipping delays has a lot to do with whether or not we are truly helping one another out. When we help each other out, it's because we want something else to thrive and succeed. When we don't help each other out, it's because we're indifferent, especially if we've been given the opportunity. So I don't like to drone on and on like as if I need 1,000 subscribers. I don't. I really don't. I don't even want to be monetized. I simply want to be able to do that which I'm able to do. Anything else is going to slow that down. So if we're helping one another to be a successful member of this community, and if the only way possible is for this channel to be monetized, well, let's go ahead and go with that option and get to 1,000 subscribers. In fact, let's do it by the end of this month, if not sooner. If the other alternative is for people to become aware that they can click on the description and find ways to donate $1 or more so that these expenses like obtaining bird feed and plants and planting everything and all of the effort that it takes into that can be recognized as work, then let's go ahead and share that description as often as possible so that somehow we can reach our goal of everyone paying off those bills that they surely deserve to pay off. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Once we can help one another expunge the debt from the records, at that point, will we have time to sit down for a drink or to have a snack or to go for a walk together? Here comes the light again. At what point do we see one another enough to go, hey, let me help you out with your predicament so that we can get this shipping delay roadblock on the highway moving along again. And it's moving along again, but still not as quickly as before. So again, I'm going to move on from this task to the next task to the next task. I mostly captured all of this while I was driving, which means I didn't waste a whole lot of time. When I get back to the place where I can upload this, it's going to upload while I'm doing something else, which means I didn't waste a whole lot of time. If I have to edit this to put anything into it, that takes time. Some of the videos that you've seen in the past have incorporated videos from other things that were happening on that same day. Those videos take time. That time is unaccounted for in terms of having been monetized unless I have 1,000 subscribers on this channel. At that point in time, as long as I don't break the rules, then I will have the ability to earn an income on this channel. So if you like what you're seeing, don't forget to click on subscribe. Don't forget to share this video. And I feel like if I were watching this video and I got some kind of relevant information, if I had the income from a place that was paying me regularly, I would find a way to click on the description, click on that donate link. I would find a way because the information that was presented here is priceless. And then once I presented that, that would help the birds, that would help the birds down the road, that would help the birds down the road. And guess who I would be making that money rain on? Myself. Law of abundance. I wanted to call it a different name in case there's people who balk at words. There are some people who would hear the word that sounds much like yogurt. It's an exercise though. And they think that that's a terrible word because it's associated with some ethnicity that is tied to a certain creed, which causes misappropriated thoughts. Thoughts that are not our own, that keep us from looking over at the car next to us and smiling and waving. That keep us from right here subscribing and sharing. And they keep us from having a pleasant conversation by phone or by text. Why is the spirit of error present? If not to help discern when something is in need of repair. I believe the spirit of error is prevalent in our business because if it were not, there would not be a shipping delay that was dependent on the ability of me to fictitiously fill a form out without actually knowing what the item was made of in order to receive the same item, while being charged by these people an import fee for the item that I had to describe even though I don't know what it's made of. That's what was requested of me. I'm not saying that that happened. The way that this happened was properly. Thankfully, the shipper was able to fill out the form after contacting the manufacturer for additional details. And in the long run, everyone went away happy. The only thing is that, again, there was a shipping delay. This item that was in the United States 2 Mondays ago, as of yesterday, the following Monday, still had not moved from its predicament because of all these forms that are required, which again, I think are just a little bit short of actually expediting truth. They come up short because there is no truth. If what was told to me was that we could just, as best as possible, fill out the form for records. Signing that something is made out of something when we really don't know. On behalf of a well-known or otherwise unknown industry. So, with me, among my 1,000 subscribers, more by now, I hope, when you watch this, among all of my subscribers, I can tell you, things are quite slow going when we don't have friends helping to alleviate the shipping delays. In this case, I had a friend in my technological sector, which cost me a little bit of energy to subscribe to. Once I subscribed to that voice from above, I was navigated efficiently and effectively around the traffic, around the obstacles. And the sun was shining down enough to show off my glowing cheeks. However, it stayed nice and overcast so that I can enjoy that jaunt in nature where I got to show you some of the things that I saw in a format that you probably would be watching on a 4K or whatever the current standard is television, because nature is nurture. And the bigger you can see nature, in other words, if you can go into nature in person, the better. The more we can experience the higher power with awe and reverence, instead of just with fear and dread, the more we can see that that higher power is absolutely there, guiding us into the correct direction if only we choose to listen and to take action. Faith without action is what? Nothing. lukewarm. Anyway, until next time, thanks so much for watching. Peace, love, and all that old school stuff. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Jeep Journals, where I'm just finishing up my walk, and I thought it would be noteworthy to let you know that I came across what is typically known as a nocturnal animal, an opossum, and the opossum was foraging for food during the day, like many animals who are unable to find their quarry at night. So anyway, you can tell I just got done with my hike because I'm in my sweat-drenched shirt. According to the quick heads up on the temperature gauge here, it's 102 degrees outside, and it's about 2:20 in the afternoon on the same day that I'm going to be uploading and sharing this. So until next time, thank you so much for joining. I hope you have a great day. Peace, love, and all that old school stuff.